havoc on both the passing game and the running game. It makes things so much more easier for your linebackers and secondary. And on offense, I mean, you really don't have to go much further than Evan Moore. He's done a great job of spreading the football around, keeping this Santaluces defense off balance with the passing game and running game just throughout that first half.
27-0 is your score at the half. A couple of TDs in the first quarter for Lake Worth, including a touchdown run from Jerry Michelle, 15 yards up the gut. The backbreaker, as it seems, an 82-yard interception return for a score from Travis Meeks. Then Evan Moore getting in twice into the end zone, once from 2 yards out and once around the left side from 15 yards out. And then has a 27-0. Santaluces is going to get the ball first in the third quarter. And here's something where normally if you have a kicker that doesn't have a strong leg, it would really play into the hands of a team like Santaluces, because you would think they'd benefit from field position, except for the fact that Terrence Floyd, who is such a vital part of your game plan on special teams, is not going to get the ball.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Floyd, I mean, he can make some things happen as a punt returner and as a kick returner. He had a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in Week 2 against one of the most talented teams in the area in Seminole Ridge, the Hawks. So, I mean, it's unfortunate because we know Lake Worth isn't going to kick Terrence Floyd the ball deep, and that's the right move to do this entire game.
Once again, let's reset what's on the line here. A Lake Worth win puts them at 2-0 inside District 12-5A, a district they share with Santaluces, Royal Palm, and John I. Leonard. A win will automatically clinch them a playoff spot. Not necessarily the district title, but you'd have to think, unless things end up disastrous in the last couple of games, for the number 7 Lake Worth Trojans, they would be your district champs. A loss for Santaluces at 0-2 knocks them out of playoff contention, because not only the loss tonight, they were also upset by John I. Leonard, so they would be 0-2, and Santaluces, a team that won District 12-5A, would be sitting home in the postseason. Alfredo Gomez is teed up at the 42, all right. He approaches it. He kicks a knuckler into the ground. It is grabbed by Jethro Lorm. He's running right at the 40. It's a block 45. Cuts to the outside at midfield. Inside the 45 and tracked down and pulled down from behind at about the 41-yard line. Jethro Lorm nearly taking that one the distance. As it is, he's going to put Santaluces in great field position. The ball's going to be spotted at the Lake Worth 38-yard line.
And a great job by Jethro Lorm catching that ball. A lot of times it's taking an awkward bounce. And Santaluces has been fortunate enough to recover, but Lorm did a good job of scooping that thing up, not hesitating, just getting to the outside.
Now it's about positive plays. There weren't very many of them for Carl Young and company. He's in the shotgun with trip receivers to the left. Shotgun snap. Young picks it up, runs around the right side, gets to the corner, and then gets knocked backwards, tumbles out of bounds at about the 38-yard line as the Trojans' defense, led by DeAnthony Newton, able to seal off that right side.
Yeah, excellent pursuit once again. Everyone running to the football sideline to sideline, from linebackers to defensive linemen. Young had nowhere to go with that little quarterback keeper. Tried to get to the outside, but no room.
Carl Munchkin Young. His nickname is Munchkin, and that is what's on the roster, so we're going to refer to that for the remainder of the half. Trips to the left, open field right. Terrence Floyd closest to the formation, 2nd and 11. Floyd gets a bubble screen, makes a juggling catch, turns to the left corner at the 35, tight roping the sideline as he is tripped up at about the 32-yard line. Terrence Floyd picking up a gain of 5. He was slashed down by Alex Hook.
And a good job by Floyd making something out of nothing there. And the difference between Evan Moore's passes and a guy like Munchkin Young passes, those little short routes, Moore's getting the ball to his wide receivers quick, fast, and in a hurry. No hesitation, no wasted movement. Young, his receivers having a tough time hanging on to the football, whether it's thrown a little bit too low or maybe just a few seconds off.
There's a flag. It is a personal foul call against Lake Worth. Free first down. Munchkin Young, 3 of 12 in this game for 40 yards and an interception.
Yeah, if this offense is going to move, it's going to be behind the guidance of Munchkin Young. He really needs a much better second half. The Chiefs plan to get back in this game.
Empty set, 5 receivers, twins to the left, trips to the right, Floyd in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Flagged out as Young gets swallowed up in the backfield and hemmed in at the 25-yard line. As soon as he faked the handoff, there were maroon shirts waiting for him. And to add injury to insult, a chop block called on Lake Worth. And now another flag, make that a chop block called on Santaluces, and another flag thrown at the end of this. So you've got a couple pieces of laundry on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a good night for this offensive line for Santaluces. I mean, everyone's in the backfield. Illegal blocks, they still can't block these guys.
You would be salivating with an opportunity to play this game if you were on Lake Worth.
Oh, absolutely. I would add at least one tackle tonight.
Way to go, Jason Pugh. 1 tackle. All right, we're still awaiting word on the flag situation. There are 2 different flags. We know one is a chop block assessed to Santaluces. Lake Worth's coaching staff is signaling for them to decline the penalty as Evan Moore warming up his arm on the sideline, keeping that arm fresh out of the halftime break. And let's see what the other flag is. Chop block on Santaluces. And a personal foul on Lake Worth. Much to the dismay of Coach Eric Lowe and the coaching staff.
Yeah, that personal foul came a little late. It was almost after the play was over. When Young was on the ground, that flag was thrown a few seconds afterwards. So players from both teams losing their composure a bit in this game.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a retaliatory penalty at all. Player doesn't like to get hit below the waist, which is illegal. And now they're going to put the football back. I want to get your opinion on this while we have a moment. Now, I'll tell you what, we'll save this for a little later on. But something that has been talked about ad nauseum from an NFL standpoint, and I don't think enough people have been talking about, how it relates to high school football and high school football in this area. One receiver to the left, double wide to the right, and on 1st and 10 after the offsetting penalties. Munchkin Young pistol set, play fake, back to throw, fires over the middle, caught inside the 10. Corey Johnson coughs it up. It's loose on the ground, and it is recovered by Lake Worth. Corey Johnson took a licking and had that football unloaded from him. He's down on the ground. Lucius, and both have been inside the red zone. I back set for Evan Moore, and another flag comes in before the snap. Well, it has been a frustrating night for Santaluces, to say the least.
Yeah, any kind of positive they have, whether it be offense or defense, seems to get taken away. Whether it be a turnover, whether it be penalties, or whether it just be Lake Worth rising to the occasion, whatever it is. I mean, this Santaluces team just really can't get anything going.
Well, they got Lake Worth for the substitution penalty. 1st down and 12, a quarterback rollout up the left sideline around the corner. Evan Moore, and he got drilled out of bounds at the 5-yard line, able to give his team a little bit of breathing room before Jethro Lorb hammered him to the sideline.
Lorb. Pretty sure some of his defensive line buddies like that hit. They've been trying to get to him all night. They can't.
That was the legal hit. No leading with a helmet. Just
good, clean football right there.
Good, clean football into the chest. I back set. Michelle, the deep back, gets the handoff off the left side, has room. Across the 10, breaks the tackle to the 15, still on the move, and finally taken to the turf at the 19-yard line. A flag down in the backfield. And an illegal shift's going to wipe that play out. It was a nice-looking 14-yard run that's going to be nullified due to a penalty.
Yeah, it really was a nice run by Michelle there, but Unfortunately, it's going to come back. He's a nice runner. Small, low to the ground, runs hard. His legs are always turning. That one's going to get brought back.
Jerry Michel's just been very, very consistent. Over 600 yards entering this game. That's now 11 penalties, 90 yards. First half for Michel, picked up 27 yards and a touchdown. Evan Moore, by the way, 6 of 13 for a $114, a TD, and an INT. Also has 35 yards rushing and a score as well. Or make that 2 touchdowns for Evan Moore. I set Michel, the deep back, gets the handoff, running off the left side. Has a little bit of breathing room out across the 5. And takes it to about the 7-yard line. Pulled down by Andre Bell, and that'll make it 3rd, and we'll call it about 7.
Great job by the offensive line. I mean, it doesn't matter what formation they're in. They're just coming off the ball and moving defenders. Bo Blanston, number 51, guard. I mean, what a job he's done.
Double receivers right, 3rd and 7. I-back set, handoff Michel, running right, spins away from a defender at the 10 and twirls forward near the first down marker. And looks like they got that first down. Yeah, Jason Pugh, that's all the offensive line getting penetration. Joe Looney, Bo Pleasanton, Akeem Lumsden, Bernardo Filzaire, and Jordan Robles.
Man, you get the feeling that as this game wears on, Michel is just going to break one. He keeps getting to the second level every time he touches the ball.
And no huddle attack. Here's a run off the left side for Michel and a flag down as Michel's dropped at the 21-yard line. Could be another hold. Charge to Lake Worth.
That's likely going to be the penalty.
Yep.
When it comes in from that area of the field.
Evan Moore clenching his fist in disgust, holding on the Trojans. So, we've been hearing so much about helmet-to-helmet hits this week in the NFL. And I know you and I disagree. I think that they should be regulated, and I don't necessarily think there's a place for them. But from a high school standpoint, what would you do? Because to me, there's absolutely no question that there's no place for plays like leading with your helmet or launching yourself into the defender, leading yourself in the helmet in the high school ranks.
Yeah, there's no place for it, but again, you got to make sure, especially at this level, the high school level, and even lower levels of football, that kids are understanding how to tackle, how to hit, how not to lead with their helmets, how the proper techniques. You really have to coach the proper techniques, especially when you're dealing with young players at high school, junior high, and Pop Warner. I mean, once they get to the NFL, it's just a matter of can they hold on.
1st and 20, and big room off the left side. Evan Moore, an option, breaks a tackle to the 30. He's across the 40, and he is pulled down at the 41-yard line. Boy, Evan Moore with a gaping hole, and he rumbles through it for a first down.
Good-looking run by Evan Moore, and this Santaluces defense just looks winded. They just look tired. 3rd quarter, less than 8 minutes to go. I mean, you see guys out there with hands on their hips. This no-huddle, hurry-up offense really starting to affect that Chiefs defense.
3 receivers to the left, 1 wide out right. Moore looks right, fires over the middle on a slant, and it's behind his intended receiver. Try to gun it into Bernard Davis, who could not haul that one in. We'll pause 10 seconds for station ID here on ESPN 760.
Bring him 2nd down.
$27-0 Lake Worth, under 8 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, and another pre-slap flag.
That's going to be a false start on the offensive line of Lake Worth. Some movement there before that ball was snapped. Getting back to the helmet hits. I mean, I don't think the NFL should suspend players for, I don't know if you want to call them dirty hits or helmet-to-helmet hits they could possibly hold off on, but if you want to find guys, I'm okay with that. You can't tell a guy you can't be aggressive out there on the field.
Well, you can be aggressive, you just don't have to lead with your helmet. Moore back to throw, 2nd down, looks around, nobody open, escapes to his right on the run, flips it over the middle, it is hauled in across midfield and at the 49-yard line. Nice catch made by Bernard Davis. They'll mark him down at midfield. So he picks up 12 on 2nd and 15.
Man, this offense is going to continue to move the ball if you don't stop them. I mean, they're going to get right up on the ball. No huddle. They're going to keep running plays. They're not going to wait for you to get set, wait for you to get your calls in.
3rd and 5 as we close in under 7 minutes remaining. Michelle off left guard, hit at the line, drives forward, but not able to get the first down as he is eventually taken to the turf at about the 47-yard line by Wallen Augustin, and it'll be 4th down. But to a point that you made, learning the proper technique, how to tackle. If you're not going to allow this to happen in the NFL, then it emphasizes for coaches in college and emphasizes for coaches in high school. We got to learn how to teach these kids how to tackle the right way. 4th and 3, they're going to go for it. Michelle tried to go left, could not get to the marker as he is stacked up at the 48-yard line. Defensive line winning the push. Although Lake Worth thinks they have a first down. Looks like Michelle was dropped at about the 48-yard line. The marker stationed at the 47.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be just short. Michelle tried to get through it on a second effort, but it looked like he fell about a yard short of the first down.
And it's going to be 1st down Santaluces, the turnover on downs.
Well,
I agree with something Evan Cohen said on his show. You can hear weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. At the end of the day, isn't what the NFL is trying to do protect the players from getting seriously hurt and possibly, even worse than that?
Oh, of course, they're trying to protect the players, but at the same time, when you're taught from a very young age, you always play full speed. You always play 100% all out. You never want to slow up because that's when you get hurt. And when guys are out there being aggressive, a lot of those hits, 5 of the 6 hits that were extreme this past Sunday were not helmet-to-helmet hits.
Back to throw off a pump fake, a deep ball down the left sideline, into coverage, and it's intercepted. Munchkin Young throwing another pick to Travis Meeks. He's on his feet to the 30-yard line, running right now back to the middle at the 45, and finally tackled at about the 49-yard line. A flag on the return after Travis Meeks records his 2nd pick of the ball game.
Meeks?
And did he fumble it at the end? Now the officials are pointing Santaluces' ball.
But that ball came out towards the end. Meeks.
Wow.
First down.
You can't fault the guy for trying to get more yards. I mean, he already took 1 interception back for a touchdown. Looks like he was on his way. But it looks like Santaluces is going to come back with the ball.
I thought that ball, if it came out after his knee touched the ground.
Yeah. Officials had a much better view than we did. If they say that Meeks was still up, I mean, you got to appreciate the effort. You got to appreciate the hustle, the ball hawking skills that Meeks has shown throughout this game.
Oh, man. One of the Lake Worth coaches.
He plays offense, too, so, I mean, he should be hanging on to the football.
One of the Lake Worth coaches, and I think that was Eric Lowe down there, just picked up his headset and slammed it to the ground in disgust and is screaming. I thought he might be screaming at the officials at first, but I think he's disgusted with the team.
We also had an illegal block on that play by a Trojan.
Yeah, so still getting an education. All right, let's take a quick time out. You're listening to Football Night in South Florida here on ESPN 760.
And there's a flag on the field before the snap.
All right, a offsides penalty charged to Lake Worth before the snap. That's going to position the football at the 45-yard line. Jason Pugh, Lake Worth winning this game comfortably, but they've committed now 15 penalties, over 100 penalty yards.
Man, that's something that can't make Coach Lowe happy. I mean, this game has already been dominated by Lake Worth. If it weren't for the penalties, they could be leading by a few more scores.
Munchkin Young on a roll out to the right. Now surrounded, trying to double back to his left, and it's going to be sacked for a huge loss. All the way back at the 38-yard line, the Lake Worth defense does it again. Ryan Jackson tags him down. That's a loss of 17.
And that's something we've seen Young do 2 or 3 times tonight. Try and make a play in the passing game, holding on to the football too long, and eventually that defensive line in particular, just catches up to him. Ryan Jackson locked on and took him down to the ground. Easy play.
2nd and 21, just over 5 minutes left. They flank Jordan St. Louis to the left. 2 receivers to the short side right for Munchkin Young. Waits for the shotgun snap, collects it, back to throw, runs up in the pocket, up the middle, past the 40, broke a tackle, and was twisted to the ground at the 44-yard line. Gain of 7 after the loss of 17. Still makes it 3rd and long.
And we've talked about this defensive line for Lake Worth, how well they've played all night long. 4 total sacks in this ball game in 2.5 quarters of play.
And go along with 2 interceptions, both recorded by Travis Meeks. 3rd and 15 from the 45-yard line. And how many times are we going to say this? Must convert for Santaluces to try to get back into this ball game, trailing 27-0. 2 receivers to the left, and Jethro Lorm comes in at quarterback. Now Jethro Lorm to the left of Young as the toss play, bobbled by Terrence Floyd, picked up by Lorm, running left down the sideline, and he is driven out of bounds at the 40-yard line. I don't know if Terrence Floyd was even looking at that ball as it was tossed to him by Munchkin Young.
Yeah, he had a defender right on him, and the ball was tossed kind of low. Floyd never had control of it. Never once had control of that football.
Well, Terrence Floyd, who last weekend was playing the role of recruiter, now that he is committed to Wisconsin, had the big 3 of Dwyer all visiting: Nick O'Leary, Kurt Majit, and Jacoby Brissett.
Big win over the Badgers this past weekend over Ohio State.
And a punt snap sails over the head of Weimer again. He picks it up, running left at the 10, 15, 20, just trying to get anything going, and he is taken out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Of everything that has gone wrong, the first thing that I would think Daryl Drinkwater would want to address is the snapping in this game, because it has been putrid.
Yeah, and that's not just special teams. Also, the shotgun snap between the center and quarterback hasn't been very good all night long. But if you're Coach Drinkwater, a lot of times on this level, when you have a long snapper that's struggling to get the ball back there, whether it's low or it's too high, a lot of times coaches will have their punter come up a few yards instead of being back 14, 15 yards. They'll come up 10 yards to make that snap a little bit easier on the center.
After another errant snap, Lake Worth takes over from the 28 of Santaluces. Shotgun snap, Evan Moore running to his left, stretches it out wide. Now he's going to tuck it and run at the 25 and scampers out of bounds near sideline. They will mark him out at the 23-yard line with some help there from Eric Lowe on the spotting. Gain of 5.
Yeah, and Moore just seems to be do whatever he wants to in this game. If he wants to throw it, he'll throw it. If he wants to keep it, he's going to keep it and pick up some yards. I mean, the defensive line for Santa Lucia hasn't created really any pressure. No type of pass rush in this game. You can't give a guy like Moore that kind of time.
Knows the football to 23 in the near side. 2 receivers left and right. Moore in the shotgun. 2nd down, quarterback draw. It's open at the 20, cuts back in, sidesteps a hit at the 15, and takes it down to the 14-yard line. Pushed to the turf there at the 14-yard line by Vinny Masacci. But a first down run for Evan Moore.
Yeah, and again, we see why he's such a great dual-threat quarterback.
13-yard gain on that
done with
play.
his legs primarily here in the second half. In the first half, he put the ball through the air a bunch. But Evan Moore, probably going to be one of the most talented Big-time prospects coming out of the area in Palm Beach County next year when he's a senior.
78 rushing yards for Evan Moore, 9 carries. Back to throw. Lobs a fade to the right corner of the end zone, and it is dropped. It was on the money for Bernard Davis along the far sideline. And you know who we got behind there? Once again, Terrence Floyd.
Yeah, excellent throw by Moore. Good coverage by Floyd, but just a good throw. Bernard Davis got his hands on it, just couldn't bring it in, threw it on that outside shoulder. Either Davis was going to catch it or it was going to go out of bounds. One of the two.
Fortunately for Santaluces, it went out of bounds. 3:11 left, third quarter, 27-zip Lake Worth. They're looking for Moore, 4 receivers. Moore back to throw, fires it over the middle, caught, touchdown. Oh, make that incomplete. Oh, boy. That looked like a clean catch from here. John Sullivan across the middle. But the officials on second glance wave off the touchdown. And now they're going to say incomplete.
Yeah. The official that was in the end zone ruled it a touchdown. But the official here on the line of scrimmage saw something he didn't see and waved it off.
That may be the hardest thrown ball we have seen this year in football night in South Florida by Evan Moore there.
Yeah. Great pass. Threw it through 2 defenders and put it at a point where his guy could go up and get it and still get in the end zone. Coach Lowe, not a huge fan of this officiating crew tonight.
Yep, and now we've got a whistle and we've got a timeout taken here by Lake Worth. So, of everything that Evan Moore brings to the table, what impresses you the most about the junior quarterback?
Well, just the fact that he can make every throw on the field. I mean, that's such a huge weapon. A lot of guys, times you'll see quarterbacks, especially the high school, they'll grow, they'll get better year in and year out as far as reading defenses, knowing what coverage a defense is in, and making the proper reads. But when you have a guy that can just flat out make every single throw on the football field as a coach, that's a huge advantage for you and Eric Lowe because you can run so much variety in your offense. Different routes, different play calls, different formations, different schemes. You can counter just about anything any defense throws at you when you have a guy that can make every throw on the field.
Eric Lowe says about his quarterback, Evan Moore, he's ahead of where Star Jackson was as a senior, and Evan Moore only a junior. Star Jackson recruited, ended up going to Alabama, now transferred out, but was recruited by Nick Saban to play for Alabama. 3rd and 10, Moore back to throw, looks left, flushed out of the pocket, takes off and run inside the 10, and nailed from behind at about the 6-yard line, close to the first down marker. Good pursuit there by Santaluces' Timothy Mansella.
Star Jackson, the former Lake Worth quarterback, a little bit more, not much, a little bit more athletic than Evan Moore, but Moore has a lot of speed to him, receptive speed to him. But as far as throwing the football, I think Moore is right there with Star Jackson as far as his arm strength, as far as what he can do through the air.
4th down and 1 from inside the 4 of Santaluces. They'll go for it. I-back set, 2 receivers to the right. Handoff Michelle running left, burrows his way to a first down and then some as he is finally taken down at the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal as Lake Worth trying for touchdown number 5 in this game as we close in on 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Evan Moore, you mentioned now he's going to be one of the most highly touted prospects as a senior. Well, Moore telling our high school football insider Bobby Klein he's garnered interest from Miami, South Carolina, LSU, Nebraska, and Wake Forest, just to name a few of those schools. And I'll tell you what, I mean, University of Miami fans certainly would be excited about the potential of an Evan Moore. Play fake, Moore rolling right, going to tuck it under and run for the end zone. He gets in untouched. Touchdown, Lake Worth. A 3-TD night on the ground for the quarterback, Evan Moore, 33-0.
Yeah, that's just a testament to how good this offensive line has played all night long. So often we talk about the quarterback and the wide receivers, and the weapons on the outside, but forget it all starts up front with protection, with giving your quarterback time, and that's exactly what this offensive line has done tonight for the Trojans.
Evan Moore having that uniform clean. Extra point is off the ankle of Alfredo Gomez. Looked like he was kind of caught up in between whether they were going to fake it or actually kick it. And it's no good for Gomez. 1:48 remaining third quarter, 33-zip Lake Worth.
Yeah, Alfredo's having a tough night tonight. Good kicker, but he's done his job as far as his kickoff duties. Kicking it away from Terrence Floyd, but the extra points, it's been a struggle so
Your
far.
Trojans lead the Chiefs 33-0.
So 33-0 is our score in favor of Lake Worth, number 7 team, and according to the ESPN 760, WPTV News Channel 5 Power Rankings.
And it's a good team. Really good team, Lake Worth. Like what this program is all about. Like where they're headed. A lot of young players that are going to be back for their senior seasons and junior seasons next year for the Trojans. So if you're a Lake Worth football fan, I mean, you have to be excited about the future here under head coach Eric Love.
Right now in Major League Baseball, just want to pass along this score. Bottom of the 4th inning for the second time in this series. Roy Halladay going up against Tim Lincecum. Both times they have not been pitchers' duels. The Phillies trying to stave off elimination, up 3-2 in the 4th inning. As another short kick loose on the ground. Who's got it? There's a pileup at the 46-yard line. It's recovered by Lake Worth. Trojans get the kick. Not necessarily intended on being an onside kick, because that's how far Alfredo Gomez can kick the ball. But the Trojans recover another onside kick.
Now, I don't know if you want to just kind of swim that one down the middle of the field. Either way, he got just enough on it. There was only one person going for the football for Santaluces and about 8 or 9 for Lake Worth. That's been the story here tonight. I mean, the Trojans have seemed to just do a better job of doing what's necessary to be successful.
So now we'll see how long Evan Moore stays in this game. Eric Lowe's usually stuck with him throughout much of the second half in blowouts. 33-0. Moore with a pump fake to the right. Nobody open. Now scampering back to his left. Flag down on the run. He just shoots that one out of bounds along the near sideline. But let's check the flag. Another hold. That's going to be penalty number 16 in this game for Lake Worth.
Man, we have a quarterback that can move, that has good feet like a Evan Moore. I mean, you're going to get that from time to time as far as holding. Because your offensive line, I mean, you just can't keep up with a guy like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how much do you attribute that to Evan Moore just being faster and more athletic than some of the guys he's playing alongside?
Well, a lot of times you're an offensive lineman, offensive tackle or whatnot, you're engaged in the blocker. Moore has great feet. Sometimes he'll like to get outside, bounce out, roll out, do what he can do to keep the play alive. And the defender sees that, but an offensive tackle does not. And then, he hangs on to that defender, and next thing you know, it's going to get called for a holding.
So 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So as we were telling you before, the Phillies 3-2 lead on the Giants, bottom of the 4th inning. Former Marlin Cody Ross, by the way, yet another RBI in this series. And there may have been some yardage tacked on at the end of this. Is this a personal foul at the end of this? They're backing this all the way inside the 25 down to the 21-yard line.
He didn't signal personal foul. He gave about 13 signals. I picked up the first one holding. That was about it.
Well, ball resting at the 22-yard line, so a 17 penalty night for Lake Worth. But in spite of that, they're up 33-0, although, Coach Eric Lowe may tell them at the end, right now the score probably should be like 53-0, if not for all those penalty yards.
Yeah, and this late in the season, week 8, if you're a head coach, I mean, you don't want to see this many penalties throughout the course of the game. I don't care who you're playing or how successful you are. I mean, you have to cut down the penalties at some point.
Moore on a little option pitch to the right, goes behind Michelle. Santaluces fell on it momentarily, then the ball loose again at the 28-yard line. The option pitch went behind Jerry Michelle, never got a clean grasp on it. And I believe Lake Worth retained possession after all that. They did. Ball at the 27-yard line.
Little quarterback, running back option play there. Moore got sucked into the defense a little bit and tried to pitch it late. Just not a good pitch-catch relationship with his running back there.
What exactly is a pitch-catch relationship? It's one of those football terms you hear a lot, but...
You always want to stay within, I don't want to say, anywhere from about 3 to 4 yards of your quarterback. You don't want to, be any further apart than that. That's a good pitch-catch relationship right there.
More a little screen right, caught making a move across the 40-yard line and getting drilled out of bounds to the 43. That's taken in by Bernard Davis. And that'll give them some breathing room. Still third and a long distance to go. So when a coach coaches you and tells you to not fumble the ball, he doesn't tell you to not fumble the ball. He says have a good pitch-catch relationship.
Yeah, if you have a good pitch-catch relationship, you won't be in a position to fumble the ball.
I'll take your word for that. Third down and long. First down markers on the other side of the 40 at the 37. Fake handoff to Michelle. Run it off the right side for Moore. Leaps over defender at the 45 and is forced out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Still well shy of the first down, and I believe we might see the punting unit in for the first time today. And before we do that, another flag comes in from the sideline.
Yeah, this one's been a sloppy one. A lot of chirping down there on the field. A lot of late flags. Late flags in this ball game.
Football night in South Florida here on ESPN 760. Brought to you by AB Cooling. They have cooled off our broadcast here in the press box of C.H. McKinnon Field, and they can cool you off to beat the heat. Just remember your ABCs of cooling. ABC Cooling. Online at abccooling.com.
Oh, looks like Lake Worth is going to pick up the first down.
That's going to be a personal foul against
Santaluces.
A heated district game, and it's been all one-sided. And frustration seemed to be getting to Santaluces here. First down as the ball now placed down at the 37-yard line after a 15-yard freebie. 26 ticks remaining third quarter. 33-0 Lake Worth. Two receivers to the left, twins to the right. Moore back to throw. Plenty of time. Slings one down the middle. Caught inside the 25. The grab made as some of the second-teamers come in. Travis Meeks with 2 interceptions, hauling that one in for a first down as he's eventually spun down at the 23.
And that was Munchkin Young that brought him down to the ground. Good job of hanging on to the wide receiver there. He wrapped up and didn't let go, because if he just goes in for the kill shot, he bounces off that tackle and scores.
Moore calling signals, fades to throw, hops in the pocket, rolls out to his right, stops, tries to dodge a tackler, and tripped over his own 2 feet. Down he goes at the 29-yard line. So the sack will be credited there to Santaluces' Nikito Pierre, and that will conclude the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's 33-0 Lake Worth, all over Santaluces, trying to clinch a playoff spot. Looks like they're 12 minutes away from doing that. Fourth quarter next. Football night in South Florida continues in a moment on ESPN 760.
This is like the Cotton Bowl. Lake Worth.
All right, 1 quarter to play. Football night in South Florida, Week 8. Our first look at the Lake Worth offense, and they have not disappointed. Up 33-0. Jeremy Marks-Peltz with Jason Pugh. John Keller with us as well. As an end around, going left and getting tripped up in the backfield. An impressive hit as Jermer Braswell was sent airborne by Luthano Lewinord. Back at the 33-yard line, trickeration does not fool Santaluces.
Yeah, did not fool Lewinord. He came knifing through the backfield, took out an offensive lineman and the runner. That's how you blow up a play.
3rd and 18.
3rd and 18, a loss of 8. Santaluces' defense still playing hard with their 4-3 set. 4 receivers. Moore back to throw, steps, looks, fires to the left, tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Santaluces down the right sideline, across the 30-yard line, and spinning his way to the 35-yard line, Jordan St. Louis. After Jethro Lorm tipped that ball, St. Louis snared it on the deflection, and Santaluces has its second takeaway of the ball game.
That might be Evan Moore's last pass of this ball game to get the score already in hand. Lake Worth's favorite, 33-0 here in the fourth quarter. That might be the last throw we see Evan Moore make tonight.
Well, Evan Moore does have 2 interceptions in this game and has been doing a lot of things with his feet and with his arm, but could not thread the needle there. So can Munchkin Young take advantage of one more opportunity to get his team out of the shutout? Inside handoff, Lewinord got loose up the middle across the 35, and he's knocked down at the 39-yard line. Gain of 6, open field tackle recorded by Tysheen Bryant. Well, the one knock on Evan Moore from the scouts, we told you earlier, he told our ESPN 760's Bobby Klein, he's got interest from Miami and South Carolina and LSU and Nebraska at Wake Forest. He's listed at 6'1". He might be closer to 6 feet, so that's the one thing people have said about him, is he's still small for the quarterback position. Shotgun snap Moore, 2nd and 5, hangs in the pocket, make that Munchkin Young's going to now run up the middle, takes off past the 45, and spins his way to a first down, tripped up at the 49-yard line of Lake Worth. But Evan Moore, when asked about that, says, look at Drew Brees as the example. So how big of a deal do you put when you're recruiting high school kids to the next level? How big of a deal do you look at Evan Moore and all the positives he can do and look at that height?
Well, you know what? It depends on what type of offense you run. It depends on what type of player you're willing to recruit. There are plenty of quarterbacks that play big-time Division I football. They're 6 feet tall. I mean, look at Tyrod Taylor of Virginia Tech. He's having an excellent season. He might not even be 6 feet.
Yeah. Throw down the right sideline is caught for a first down. Nice throw there by Munchkin Young.
And to name a few more, if you remember Eddie Sullivan from last year, recruited by Marshall now, playing for Marshall. He was only about 6'1", and he was still one of the better quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the area last season.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different quarterbacks. I would think it should not deter you from offering a scholarship to a college kid. I think from an NFL standpoint, you've got more obstacles to overcome. Wide receivers left and right, first down and 10, and another fumbled exchange. Terrence Floyd and Munchkin Young, and Lake Worth's going to recover. Terrence Floyd and Munchkin Young just not on the same page one bit today.
Yeah, not on the same page, but Munchkin Young kind of, pitched that ball to Terrence Floyd. Floyd is lined up in the backfield. That should be a handoff. They're already so close to each other. I don't know why Munchkin Young is kind of pitching that ball only 2 feet away from a Terrence Floyd.
Terrence Floyd has just not been a factor at all in this game. Does not have a catch, has a fumble. Now lost that exchange as well.
And they've taken him out of the special teams game as well.
Yeah, not kicking the ball to him. Has gotten toasted a couple times, including for a touchdown, or for a long pass play that set up a touchdown. Up the middle, Jerry Michelle knifing through inside midfield into Santaluces territory and down at the 39-yard line. Boy, he just shot out like a cannon for a big gainer.
Yeah, he gets on you fast. If you're not careful on that defense, Michelle will be on the second level in a hurry.
Jerry Michelle now trying to make his bid towards 100 yards.
Yeah, before you could blink, if you're a linebacker or a safety, Michelle's right there in front of you.
4 receivers. Moore rolls right, pads the football, throws the football to the right. It is caught for a first down as Terrence Floyd spins. Bernard Davis bounds inside the 30, down to about the 26-yard line.
like Floyd may have gotten away with a horse collar there, but he
Not
didn't.
that 13-yard pass.
Offensive
It's
player
going
down to
to
the ground.
First
Horse collar,
down.
so I guess that's why it wasn't called.
So one more possession, maybe more, for Evan Moore, trying to get another touchdown. Already has 3 rushing scores in this game. Still looking for his first passing TD. 2 receivers to the left, twins to the right. Moore shotgun snap, hands it away up the middle. Michelle inside the 25. Good second effort as he drags the pile forward to about the 21-yard line. He'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. Off the bottom of the pile for Santaluces was number 50, Andre Bell.
Man, this is a game that if you're Lake Worth, I mean,
The head
you
up
can
and
really
down,
be proud about,
6 yards. Second and
especially
4.
up to this point. I mean, you have really controlled this game both offensively and defensively here.
And a play fake, option left. Moore's got plenty of room around the corner at the 15 and knifed out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. Last man standing there, Jethro Lorm. But it's going to be a first down. The chains keep moving, and the clock will soon move at 8:21 and ticking to go in the fourth quarter.
And another score, that clock's going to move for the rest of the night, or at least until Santaluces scores. Because once it hits 35, or a team gets up by 35 in the second half, it is a running clock for the rest of the game.
The maroon and white-clad Lake Worth Trojans trying to get to that running clock. Trip receivers to the left. Bernard Davis to the right. Moore rolling right. Padding, looking, zipping it to the right. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. And that time we saw those Wisconsin-like skills from Terrence Floyd. Made a great beat on that ball intended for Bernard Davis. But it looks like he wanted pass interference and letting the linesman know that.
Yeah, and Floyd just kind of jumped right in front of that ball. Beat the receiver to the spot. That's a good job just running the route for the wide receiver, but he couldn't hang on to the interception.
Now, Terrence Floyd, who does project as a cornerback more so than a receiver or a running back, they commit to Wisconsin. He's matched up Bernard Davis wide right side. Inside of him in the slot is Richard Serafin, and 2 receivers out to the left. 2nd and 10. Moore back to throw. Middle screen caught by Michelle at the 10. Makes an inside move to the 5. Dances into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Worth. Evan Moore gets his touchdown pass. And Jerry Michelle gets into the end zone for a second time today. 39-0. Trojans on top.
Just a beautifully drawn screenplay. The running back right up the middle. Great job by the offensive line once again. Holding their blocks just long enough, then letting those defensive linemen rush upfield. It gave Michelle just an open lane to the end zone.
Now Alfredo Gomez will try to make it 2 for 5 on the point afters. The snap down, the kick is up, and the wobbly kick sneaks its way over the crossbar. 40-0. The sirens are blazing. 40-0 is your score with 8:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. I want to tell you about PNC Bank. They are a proud partner of the PNC Points of the Game. PNC Bank presenting the first annual Kick It for Wishes tournament, kickball tournament benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Southern Florida. The event is on Saturday, October 30th, so next Saturday, Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. Evan Cohen will be here weekdays 4 to 6 on ESPN 760 and watch on WPTV News Channel 5. He'll be out there emceeing. There's a family fun zone, prizes being given away, and so much more. Teams are still available, so visit kickitforwishes.com to find out how to register and for more information. You're not going to want to miss the first annual PNC Kick It for Wishes tournament, benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Southern Florida, and also brought to you by I-9 Sports. You play kickball?
Big-time kickball fan, player. Growing up as a kid in elementary school, we used to play it every afternoon. I'm an outstanding kickball player, believe it or not.
I bet. You look like you're the type of person that's outstanding in every single sport you play.
Thank you.
And, of course, we know that you starred as a football player. Evan Moore, who may be even more outstanding than you playing football. 11 of 23, 180 yards passing, has a touchdown, also 2 interceptions as a run laterally to the right off the squib kick goes to about the 35-yard line, that run back from Vinny Masacci. Moore also 115 yards rushing, so 180 yards passing, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He has scored 3 times, rushing the football, 13 carries for a $115, 295 total yards overall for Evan Moore. And we'll see if that is it for him or if perhaps he'll have one more. So the running clock with 7.5 left. Teams are up by 35 or more. By rule, the clock will continue to go even during normal stoppages in play, at least until Santaluces scores a touchdown. Slot left set, 3 receivers. Munchkin Young hands it away to Luthenal Lewinor, going to his right. And he has stood up after about a 3-yard gain out to about the 46-yard line, and he fumbles the ball at the end. It is picked up by Lake Worth, ripping that ball out of Luinor's hands. Devontae Jackson.
Devontae Jackson? How did he come away with that one?
He just stole it from Lewinor.
I mean, that's just impressive. One single motion, made the tackle, ripped the ball out, and recovered it.
6 foot, 175-pound senior. Devontae Jackson showing his strength. Evan Moore is back onto the field, so the Evan Moore show continues as that clock continues to run towards 6.5 to play in the fourth quarter. 40-0, Lake Worth.
And Coach Lowe, I mean, during the week of practice, he made it a point to point out his defense and tell how good they've been playing so far this season. He doesn't think they get enough credit. See now the offense puts up so many points and is so explosive. He really commended his defense for doing a great job this season.
So you would think then that they would bring in the second teamers then once the game's 21-0, something like that, in order to make it more of an emphasis on his defense. Not so much.
Not like college or the pros, JMP.
2 receivers to the left, double wide to the right for Evan Moore. Back to throw, pumps once, now pocket collapses, rolling to his right, flag down. He fires to the right sideline, and it is incomplete. Nearly a spectacular catch on the tiptoes by Bernard Davis, but this also may be another hold.
Yeah, a lot of teams don't have the depth, especially at the high school level, to bring in their 2s or 3s. So a lot of times they have to stick with their starters longer than they want to.
The other quarterback on the roster is Sean Steele, who goes 5'7", 165 pounds. And he's got his helmet on. So maybe he'll get a chance later on, but Evan Moore remains in the game. The hold will take that football, though, back to the 37-yard line. Well, for Lake Worth after tonight, they'll be 6-1. They'll be 2-0 in District 12 5A play. They will be officially heading to the playoffs. And they've got a few games remaining. Handoff up the middle and keeping the legs moving out across the 45-yard line to the 47. Another carry for Jerry Michelle as he picks up about 10 yards on the gainer. So after tonight for Lake Worth, they host Suncoast next week. And then, how about this for a subplot? John I. Leonard on the road. Last year, Lake Worth had a chance to go to the playoffs and lost at home to John I. Leonard as Evan Moore gets sacked inside the 45-yard line. Great sack recorded there by Santaluces. It was Junior Bartholomew, the junior, getting in. But you got Suncoast at home at John I. Leonard, a chance to exact revenge and clinch the district, and then at home against Trey Mason and Park Vista to wind down the season.
Some tough games at the end. The Lancers have definitely shown they can rise to the occasion any given night. Park Vista, they're coming off back-to-back losses to Atlantic, a big-time loss to Dwyer. So, that's a team that wants to get refocused as this season goes on. So it's not going to be an easy stretch here down the road, this Lake Worth team.
Evan Moore sacked at the 35-yard line, but also got his face mask tugged, so 15 yards on the personal foul penalty, and a first down by rule, despite a nice individual effort by Tanner Ahern. A little too aggressive there. Clock rolling, under 3 minutes left. Santaluces will fall to 3-5, and they will be eliminated from postseason contention. which means,
15-yard penalty.
I believe, when
And first down.
we'll double check with Bobby Klein, our high school football expert. I believe John I. Leonard would also essentially clinch a playoff spot, because it would be those two teams and Royal Palm, which has had a dismal season, and Santaluces, which at 0-2 would be pretty much out of contention. It would just depend on who's 1 and who's 2. Two receivers to the left, and Evan Moore under center as Santaluces packs things tight on defense. Up the middle, Michelle got to the second level again inside the 45 and churns his way down to the 43-yard line as we're approaching 2 minutes to play in this game.
Show one of those guys, he doesn't care what time it is in the game. He's running the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Every single play. Doesn't care if he's tired. Doesn't care if you just want to get back on the bus and go home. You better wrap that guy up.
4th down and 6. 6 up on the line for Santaluces. Snap to Moore. Play fake. Rolls right. Offensive lineman down. Moore throws one down the right sideline. Incomplete, out of the reach of John Sullivan. And turning it over on down, Santaluces will get one more crack. 1:25 and the clock rolling. They trail 40-0. So I think that will be the final pass thrown by Evan Moore tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Getting close to about a minute remaining in this game, and it's been all Lake Worth. I mean, just an impressive, dominating performance here by the Trojans. People wanted to make fun of the schedule, their opponents. They haven't played anybody. Well, we knew Santaluces coming in had some talent, and Lake Worth has just dominated this game.
Well, they were number 7 in the ESPN 760 power rankings, so depending on what other teams do, I mean, they'd be hard-pressed not to move up after this, their first real signature win, and doing it in the same fashion that they had dispatched of opponents this year. Explosive offense and a deceptively suffocating defense. So it'll counterplay up the middle for Leonard across midfield and down to the 46-yard line. Make that Fredlet Dort on the carry. Maybe one more play if Santaluces elects to get up to the line, but they're going to huddle as that clock is running at 20 seconds. So football night in South Florida is going to go to the Lake Worth Trojans as we're down to 6, we're down to 5, shotgun snap, down to 3, down to 2, and that's going to be it. Welcome to the playoffs, Lake Worth. They do it in convincing fashion, 40-0. The Trojans clinch a playoff spot, and they're now in great position for their first district title in 25 years as they blow out their rivals in District 12-5A, the Santaluces Chiefs. Want to tell you that Football Night in South Florida is brought to you by the Kravis Center. It's showtime at the Kravis Center. Highlights include Christmas with John Tesh, Arturo Sandoval with special guest Connie James, Mike Super, Magic and Illusion, and more. For a full season schedule or to order tickets, visit kravis.org or call 561-832-SHOW. Jason Pugh, your final thoughts as we wrap it up from here.
Well, just a dominating performance by Lake Worth, their total team. Special teams, offense, and defense. It wasn't just all about Evan Moore, even though he did play an outstanding game, but this entire team looked very, very impressive. They're going to be it's going to be a challenge to defeat them in that District 12-5A.
They are certainly for real. Lake Worth 6-1 this season and clinching a playoff spot in District 12-5A. Our final score once again from C.H. McKinnon Field in Lake Worth. The Lake Worth Trojans 40 and the Santaluces Chiefs nothing. For Jason Pugh and John Keller on site, I'm Jeremy Marks Peltz. Now we head things over to the Football Night in South Florida studios and we toss it over to Jordan Sherwood.